It's XFL football, man. It ain't no slouch league. It's a bunch of dogs out here.
What is going on, everybody? It's good to be back. So, as I've kind of flirted around with the XFL, I said if I enjoyed it, I will try out content and see how you like it. So, if you enjoy this XFL content, do hit that like button. We'll obviously never do it to the degree that I do NFL things, but we do need things to talk about this time of the year beyond just draft talk. So, if you enjoy the XFL stuff, do hit that like button. Today, I'm going to be talking about 10 things you need to know about the XFL. Whether it's rule changes or different reasons that I think people should watch the XFL for, and also reasons why the XFL could stick. So let's get into it. The first thing here, these are in no particular order. The first thing here is the open total access approach that the XFL has. In particular, sideline interviews, locker room access, allowing you to hear the play calls as they come in, really the full-on fan experience. Now, as far as the play call stuff, the locker room access as the XFL grows, I don't know if they'll be able to keep doing that because it would be very easy to do what like the Houston Astros do and like steal calls. But other than that, I think the sideline interviews and stuff gives you an interesting perspective. At some point, we might get a player fight a reporter for asking them why they threw an interception, why they didn't see an open wide receiver, something like that. So the total access is really cool. Pat McAfee, it's a great job for him, who has a great character about him. So that is one reason that keeps me entertained watching the XFL.
Jamar, I know you're going in. There was no doubt you got in, just quick.
I'll go.
Okay, you gotta go. Kevin, I tried.
Second off, the overtime rules were not designed by morons. They are actually fair for both teams. You don't get games decided by a coin toss with tired defenses and one elite quarterback watching as his defense sigh and huff and puff as the game ends. No, in the XFL, it's similar to like a hockey game. They put the ball on the 5-yard line. They rotate back and forth. If you get it into the end zone, that's 2 points. If you don't, it's not 2 points. You go 5 rounds, and then if you're still tied after that, they go into sudden death rounds. So I don't know if it's the perfect way to address this. The red zone offense, red zone defense isn't the only thing that makes football teams good or bad, but I will say this is, in my opinion, still significantly better than letting a coin toss decide football games in an offensive league that is the NFL. Third off, extra points. Way different and, in my opinion, way more entertaining for a league like this. I would never want this in the NFL, but basically you don't kick for extra points. Now there's different lines, almost like you're doing one of those 3-point challenges or those shooting challenges where different spots are worth more points. So you can go for it from the 2-yard line for 1 point, from the 5-yard line for 2 points, or the 10-yard line for 3 points. So this adds to all sorts of interesting calculations after you score. How many points do you want to go up ahead of the other team? A 9-point game is technically still a 1-possession game. So opening up a lot of different possibilities and definitely making scoring more exciting and more interesting, especially after a touchdown. Fourth, kickoffs are much different, and I honestly think this is something the NFL will implement almost immediately. Instead of having these guys run at each other and sprint and hit each other at full speed, it's almost like an Oklahoma drill. They have to stay put until the receiver touches the football. I think it was like 90% of kick returns were actually returned. My guess is they actually have the ball get kicked off a little further back, so it's more, less touchbacks and stuff. But definitely different. I think it is going to be a good answer to the whole health issues surrounding kickoffs, but can also lead to some exciting returns as well. The number 5 thing you need to know about the XFL is players can give the middle finger to the NCAA. If you're coming out as a 5-star prospect, maybe the next Leonard Fournette coming out or Trevor Lawrence, and maybe education isn't the most important thing to you. You're all about your pro career and you just want to get paid and play football. You can do it. You can go to the XFL, and once you're draft eligible, you can then opt out and go and declare for the NFL draft. So I don't know if and when we start to see this. There is actually another option for it to happen. It doesn't have to be out of high school. We do have a player in the XFL right now that was kicked out of West Virginia for being academically ineligible, and he's playing in the XFL and will probably get drafted to the NFL in April. Now, will this ever be a threat to college football? No, probably not. It'll be similar to players like Emmanuel Mudiay leaving to go play overseas or in China. But it is an option for players whose education is not necessarily so important to them, or if they struggle with education. Number 6, the XFL encourages gambling. They show the spreads, the over-unders on the ticker on the bottom of the screen. Vegas has all sorts of futures and spreads and everything opened up alongside with daily fantasy. The XFL knows that having that little extra change on the game is going to help people keep invested in a game that might not have the biggest superstars or the best talent as far as the football game is concerned. Me personally, big fan of how the XFL embraces the direction the country is really going with sports gambling, as it's becoming slowly legalized throughout the country. Number 7, rules are designed for offense. And this is not something we're unfamiliar with. The NFL has done the same with many different rules about contact, hitting the quarterback, replay reviews, all that kind of stuff. But the XFL takes a few extra steps forward. Some rules they have in place really do encourage offense and excitement in general. We already talked about the extra point thing, but here's a couple other examples. If it's within the 2-minute warning, and the trailing team has the ball and it's within one score, the clock will stop after every play. You don't have to get out of bounds. So that's not just necessarily offense. It is for the team on the offensive side of the ball. That just encourages an exciting gameplay in general. The other thing, the coach. You know how they have that little microphone that goes into the helmet of the quarterback in the NFL? Well, in the XFL, it actually relays to every position player on the field. So the wide receivers, tight end, and running back. So you can make hot calls on the fly. Coach up your receiver in a no-huddle situation. Have the entire team in sync together. Again, something I never expect the NFL to do. But this paired with the total access where you can often hear the coaches talking to the offense and then see different things play out on the field is definitely entertaining. And I think it's a good way to address and improve the quality of the product on the field, because we do have a lot of quarterbacks that aren't geniuses out there making Peyton Manning hot routes, and receivers that might not be the best route runners or know when to sit down in zones. Well, the coach can help these guys know what they should be looking for every play. Number 8, this one is awesome and was, dare I say, critically acclaimed on Twitter. Transparent replay reviews. When they are reviewing a play, you can hear the conversation between the referee on the field as well as the guy up in the booth, and you can actually see the exact same camera angles and what the replay official is looking at. For this one, just take a look at this clip and look at how effectively this team gets through this decision.
Stop the game, stop the game, stop the game.
Hey, it's under further review.
It's a completed catch and a fumble.
Okay.
Is that your ruling? Is that the ruling on the field?
The ruling on the field is a completed catch, fumbled by the receivers. New York picked up the fumble, recovered in advance. First down, New York.
Okay. We have a good view here. When he landed on the ground, he only had 1 foot down. The ball was jarred loose, so it's going to be an incomplete pass. We're going to change it to an incomplete pass.
So give me down and distance on the previous play.
Okay.
Should be second and 15, right?
25-yard line.
Should be second and 15, correct?
Second and 15.
All right.
Okay.
I will make the announcement. After further review, the receiver did not complete the process of the catch, therefore it is an incomplete pass.
So the transparency on big game-impacting decisions, definitely something that I expect the NFL to put into their own little deal. Number 9, if you are a fan of Madden, you should support the XFL. Ever since EA Sports took over as the exclusive producer of football video games and Madden, the quality of the games, especially if you are one of the many people who play the game for its franchise mode, has taken a dip year after year after year as the company has elected more towards more profitable microtransactions through its Madden Ultimate Team game mode, leaving the single player experience left to dry. Franchise mode 15 years ago was much deeper with player holdouts, weekly radio shows, in-depth contracts, better injury systems, you name it. Without that competition, EA Sports has little incentive at all to actually improve its video game beyond very small, minor improvements from year to year. If the XFL sticks around for a couple years and intrigue grows, maybe, just maybe, 2K developers can get back into the football gaming world, start working on a game again that just might eventually catch the NFL's attention, also have 2K pay up for those rights to the NFL, and maybe someday we can get competition in football gaming again. It's a long shot, but it's all we have. And then the last thing you should know about the XFL is that the players that really stand out, the XFL breakouts, they will get an opportunity to play in the NFL next season. So the XFL presents a great opportunity for these players, but also for the fans to follow great storylines for these young men to really try and make a statement and make millions of dollars in the NFL someday. And I think ultimately it's going to improve the NFL product as well, as you just get a larger sample size of the pool of players available. Kind of like we talked about with EA Sports and Madden. Competition is good, makes everyone better. So the XFL players that really break out are going to be on one-year contracts basically all the time in the XFL. I think it's going to be pretty rare for these guys to sign multi-year deals, because if they do impress, they will get that opportunity next season in the NFL, almost immediately after the XFL season ends. So I hope you guys found this video interesting. What do you guys think of the XFL? Did this video make you more interested? Was it useful? What else do you think fans should know about the XFL? If nothing else, please do hit that like button. Also subscribe, turn on notifications. I am now going to be doing XFL power rankings on a weekly basis. Pretty much going to be the extent of my XFL coverage unless it blows up for some reason. But I am looking forward to that. So cheers as always, guys, and we'll see you for the next one. Peace.